There's some tree roots. Those look a little rooty. Legit sewer cameras are freaking expensive. That's why I'm going to show you an economical way to check your sewer lines or really any of your pipes to see if you have standing water, tree roots growing in them, or broken pipes. And if you do have tree roots, I'll show you what you can do about them. Stick around. So this is my main clean out of my house. This is down in my basement. And when I moved in 4 years ago, I did have these pipes cleaned because there were tree roots in them. And then for a couple months, I was putting root killer in there, foaming root killer. But then I just kind of stopped doing it. So there's probably about 3.5 years of growth of tree roots. I do have a large tree in my front yard. So it'll be really interesting. We'll find out together what the state of this pipe is right now. So we're going to be using a couple things here. Mind you, this is a cheaper version. You can get sewer line inspection kits that are upwards of $500 to in the thousands of dollars. You know, some of them have trackers on them, so you can see where the pipe is in the yard if you need that. But this is an economical approach. This is the DepthStec endoscopic camera, and this is the 50-foot version, and it goes for about $100 on Amazon. I'll leave a link for this in the description. But you'll notice the line is semi-flexible, so this is going to be pretty hard to negotiate down the pipe and get it to feed in. So I'm going to pair this endoscope line with this 50-foot Klein Tools fish wire, steel fish wire tape. And you can see this is pretty rigid, so it should hold up nicely when I'm pushing this into the pipe. So I'm going to get some electrical tape here and just tape this to the endoscope line. Make sure you take these bands off if you do get this one. You don't want this getting lost in your sewer line. All right, so I'm gonna lay this out and I'll just tape it up. This electrical tape sucks. All right, I got the display here. Just comes with a little port for the USB. There's a little, one side goes in with a little marker there. Snaps in, and you just hold this down to start it. All right, so I probably got about 30 feet taped up here. I just taped it about every foot or so. And then, like I said before, there is a little bit of oil on this fish tape, so it doesn't like completely stick, but I think it should be strong enough to stay with it enough. So the end does have lights, and then you control the brightness of the lights from the controller here. And then this does actually come with a memory card too, so you can record the video. I'm going to go ahead and format that. Select your resolution, 1080p or 720. Let's go 1080. Format, let's format the card. So there are actually 3 cameras on this. So there's one going forward, and then one going up on the side, and then one pointing down on the side. So you can switch between those cameras just holding this down. So we have the front camera here, and then if we hold this down, that's the upper camera. The side camera is pointing towards us. And then camera C is pointing down towards the concrete there. So then when you hit it again, you can actually get a split screen. So this is the front camera and then the side upper camera. And then you can switch it again. This is the front and then the side bottom camera. And then it just goes back. So you can have split screen of 2 angles, or you can just have one full screen angle at the same time. Now I highly recommend you put some gloves on, because you know what's down there. And then old rags or paper towels that you want to throw away, because you'll want to wipe this as it comes back out. So we'll see how hard this clean out is to get off. Never actually opened this. Oh, that's on there. Okay, that's great. To get my big wrench. Oh, I gotta get my big wrench. I know you all were waiting for me to pull this out. Let's see if this does a trick here. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you. Get a big wrench if you don't have it. Link in the description. All right. Let's see what we got here. So you see there is a little buildup in there. Like I said, this camera does have a memory card, so you can record video to that and then save it to your computer or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording. You just hold down the top button here, and then it shows in the corner here that it is recording. So I'll see if I can throw that on the screen. All right, here we go. All right, so the problem is the sludge is just getting on this front camera and just blocking the view. So I'm going to try to put this wire ball on here to see if this can act as kind of a protector of the sludge. So we'll have to look through the wire, but it doesn't seem too bad. So I'll see if I can attach this. Some people have also mentioned that they would use a whisk, like just put this in the middle of a whisk. So that is also an option. All right, is it super pretty? No, but it seems like it might do the trick. All right, I turn the water on just to kind of clear a little bit of the goop. So now I am, you can see the path of the water on the bottom there. I don't see anything blocking it so far. There's some sludge in the ball. Yeah, so this is actually a nice rigidity. It's like flexible enough so it's bending around the pipe, but it still will move forward. I have not seen any, oh, we're underwater now. I have not seen any tree roots yet. All right. First exploration complete. Yeah, so the ball, I think it's important to have the ball to keep it out of the water. I need to cut the front part of the ball off so I can see more clearly. So it winds up that the light just shines off the ball and it's not as clear. Not so much a problem for the side views, but the front view, it's hard to get a long view out with it running into the ball. So I think I'm going to try cutting part of the ball off and then reinserting it. Okay. So I just cut half the ball off. Oh, that's way better. So it's still got something to kind of keep it up, but it's not getting in the way of the camera. So let's try this again. If I can not get it stuck on my pile of wood. All right, recording. No, not a photo. There you go. Hold down and record. Let's see what this gets us here. If I can get it past that 90, we'll be golden. Maybe. Now it's all smudged. There we go. That's not horrible. All Alright, so now we can see the full pipe. Yeah, this is way better without that metal for it to shine off of. Still a pretty darn clean looking pipe. What is that? Those look like spider webs. I mean, for being how many years old? Probably, I mean, a 50-plus-year-old pipe. I think that looks pretty darn good. Plumbers, let me know. Is that a good looking pipe or not? I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of buildup, but okay, so from this view, that top, or I guess it'd be the left side there, and that's the bottom. You see a little bit of water in there. See the top. There's a little bit of a crust. A little debris in there. It's still pretty clear. Stuck in my bags of cement. Reach the pipe for my washer. So that's where that empties out to. So we should be getting to the outside in a minute here. What we got there? What is that? Oh, there's a little bit of standing water right there. This is gonna be a low spot. See how it dips back up a little bit, so that's a little low spot right there, holding water, which is not ideal, but I'm not gonna dig up my whole freaking front yard for that, that's for sure. Still looking pretty good, I think. What do you think, plumbers? I've heard horror stories of plumbers putting in a fake SD card with someone else's house with roots growing in it, and then pretending it's actually coming from their live stream, and then showing the homeowner and be like, oh no, you got roots, we're gonna need to take care of that for an extra $500. So make sure if someone is doing this for you, make sure it's actually a recording of your house and your pipe, because they need to be recording themselves at your house, showing, before they put that down there, showing your house, and then that camera going into your pipe. If you don't see that, don't trust it. That's actually your house. Oh, there's some tree roots. Those look a little rooty. I think those might be a little bit of tree root stuff. So I'm gonna mark that on the way out, just so I remember where that is. There we go. This is where it goes to the street. It really doesn't want to go much farther than that. There we go. Is that the street? Yeah, it's like a giant hole. All right, so there's the street. There's a little bit of buildup going to the street. You can see the bigger pipe there. So there's just basically one section I'm a little worried about that I think I'm going to treat. So that doesn't look too bad. A little bit of buildup. A little bit of buildup. I'm going to wipe this off. All right, so it's right there. That's really the only section I see. You can kind of see the thin little root hairs. So that's definitely not the best situation right there, and that might be more. So this little section right here is what worries me. So that's about, what do we got left here? That's about 35 feet in. No, there's a little, maybe another section right there. Yeah, so this little 5-foot section does have a little bit of root action in it. So I'm pretty happy with the rest of it though. So I'm just going to pull this up and then we'll talk about what we can do about those roots. All right, there we go. We're out. Yeah, so I would highly recommend putting some sort of cage around this back part of the wire, just to help it sit up out of the pipe. So part of a whisk. This was like a blender ball for like a bottle, a blender bottle that I didn't use. So if you have a blender ball, cut it in half and slap it on here and you're good. And then tape the heck out of it. And it stays pretty, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with this actually. That's pretty cool. So highly recommend going this route. You don't need to pay $500-$600 for a fancy camera. Just get this in a blender ball. All right, so if you do this and you do find you have roots growing in your pipes, there are other options besides calling someone or renting an auger to eat them up. You can first try killing the roots with a foaming root killer. And you really want one that foams, because if you have roots on the top of your pipe, this is going to foam and actually get to those. If you put just salt in there or a non-foaming root killer, it's not going to get to the root of the problem up high. Get it? So you definitely want a foaming root killer. This one is pretty intense. So you'll put this in your toilet. I'll put a little B-roll of this actually happening. Put this in your toilet. It's going to foam immediately. You're going to flush. It's going to, maybe remnants are still going to foam. You're going to flush again. And you want to do this at the end of the night and not use the toilet or any other faucets after that. So do this right before you go to bed and then let it sit in the pipes. It's going to foam up in the pipes, and that's going to really help get those roots nice and soaked with this stuff, and then hopefully over time dissolve them. You saw I have that one area that has the roots growing up, so this will really attach to that. The foam will attach to those roots, and then you want to do this a couple times. If you have really bad roots, you might want to do this 3 or 4 times, like once every couple weeks or once a month, and then this will hopefully help dissolve your root problem. All right, takeaways for doing your own sewer pipe inspection. I would definitely recommend this. This is about $100. I mean, you're gonna pay upwards of $300 or $400 to have someone come in and actually examine your pipes with a more expensive machine. But this definitely gets the job done. Check out my tips earlier for putting the little cage around it and then taping the actual fish tape wire onto it. It provided just enough rigidity to really get into the pipe, and it didn't really stop up once, and I could always push it through all the way to the road. And then if you do have roots, get a foaming root killer. Obviously, if you have a huge blockage or like crazy amount of roots that are blocking the whole pipe, you're probably just going to want to have that cleaned out or rent something to clean it out, because this is not going to be a miracle worker overnight. This is going to take a few weeks to a few months to really get rid of those roots. So if you have an immediate problem, you might have to do something more serious about it. But I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any comments, and see you next time.